people talk about, it doesn't really work that well against against PL. Maybe hood build.
Yeah, oh, I can see that working. That sounds pretty good. I think the lane normally can be sort of 50-50 with Mars, but just because, again, they see that tiny fort, they're confident that this PL. That's a lot better than them, just because you can pull in between your tier 1 and tier 2. If the PL's on Radiant, I think that lane should be super easy for him. Even if PL's on Dire, I think he should probably free farm.
For me, the main point in this game is the Storm Spirit Abed on that mid lane, because he can't take over completely. There's what you have, Disruptor and Tiny. You don't really care about that much. Yeah. You can itemize against it, so if he rolls out of control, he will make enough space for this PL to just go ham and
I mean, if you ask me, I have to pick EG because I'm from NA.
Okay, I'm going with Spirit for sure then.
But I think the draft is pretty good.
You gotta give Spirit credit. The draft, like you guys said, looking pretty good. And then on top of that, they've already created an upset here by starting to at least a draw. At very least, they're going to be able to get a draw. If they get it 2-0, how many ripples is that going to throw throughout the entire group stage? We're going to be jumping into the game right now. We're going to see if they can keep this upset going or if EG is going to be able to knot it up.
I'm dead.
Are you guys going to play the game?
Welcome aboard Tiny Airlines. Do not fasten your seatbelts.
Right, Lacoste, on the one hand, we've got a lot of circles, the Venn diagrams from Team Spirit, my favorite kind of draft, but EG with a lot of disengage, the Timber, the PL, the Storm, ways to escape from the circles and bisect them.
Yeah, this lineup from EG is very good at going in and out of the fights. They want to just keep repeating that with the Phantom Lance reset. Same goes for Storm Spirit. Then you have a heal coming out from the Phoenix. Timber, so in and out, one of the best heroes to do so, and not relying too much on the cooldowns. The only big cooldown you have is Phoenix Supernova and the Finger. Yeah. Even without that, EG's lineup can pretty much keep fighting all the time. History might repeat itself one more time. Position for Tiny. I just don't like the hero. I just feel the whole potential of the hero is being wasted. You're using 2 out of 4 abilities, pretty much.
What's the kind of idea behind that? Is it that mid Tiny just gets to items faster and you use the magic damage earlier game and it feels better? Position for Tiny is a bit more delayed, or?
Position for Tiny, like, he soaks up a lot of farm, a lot of safe farm, because if you don't get a lot of early kills, you need to give him a lane to farm a blink tag. Especially if the game slows down, he will need to be taking up the farm, let's say, higher tier 2 tower. This is where he wants to get his blink dagger up, because it's kind of a secure space to farm, especially if it's warded up.
And also, very importantly, the panel was bringing up the catch factor onto the Storm Spirit, where Tiny is pretty much the only reliable way to catch Abed when he is on this Storm Spirit.
They have a Disruptor. I love that position. 5 that they picked as a last pick. Grimstroke got banned out with the Disruptor. It's kind of a CIS classic where it provides you long-range reach instead of mana, glimpse back into the Static Storm. No one likes to play into that. You can't really itemize. I want to see what his item build is going to be this time around, but the BKB feels like a safe choice. Maybe even a second item when you're playing against the Disruptor. Tiny, Gyrocopter. It's a ton of magical damage. Looking at the off-lane, ISS should have a pretty good time. There is a lot of harassment early on from Gyrocopter Rocket, one of the best spells early on in the game, Thunderstrike, so you need to be careful about that. One of the reasons why he brought a bit more region, 6 tangos plus a healing cell, and also decided to get a Timber Chain. Playing into the range heroes, you don't get too much value out of it.
And especially with Crit backing him up, he's always got that disengage with the Earth Spike, able to catch up with Poshka or Yatoro. And also the fact that we know that Swords like to be left alone, level 3, level 4 or so, and line look for those rotations into mid, where, as the UI was saying, as we've mentioned before, the Storm's matchup against Templar Assassin, it can look very even, but some of the times we see that level 3, level 4 from Storm, get the Vortex and the tower, kill the TA off, and it snowballs out contention from that point. If you add in a Lion to the mix, you've got another stun, and real good kill threat.
Toronto Tokyo using these side blades nicely. 4 hits in a row. Does damage to Abed. Doesn't have the bottle yet. Meanwhile, Abed does, so he can go and pick up one of the side rooms.
Double deny there coming through from Abed off of one Vortex. Wonderful.
Needs to be careful. Toronto Tokyo playing it really well, just protecting the top water rune. He's making a move to the bottom. Abed will just go there and refill it.
Yeah, needs to do so. And then down in that bottom lane, we have seen, the Mars, the Tiny tossing the Phoenix around. Difficult early days for Fly. Very squishy hero, could get caught out by some stuns. But Phantom Lantern so far has had a pretty good early laning stage, guarded by that Phoenix. As there goes the initial burst of damage onto Fly, just chipping away at EG a little bit there. 12 and 6 on the Mars, trying to rack up a fair number of denies. But the problem begins top lane already. Ice level 3, dragging wave around, and this is where that Lion can start to maneuver himself. That mid lane or around the rune spawns. Crit though, under vision. Radiant wall there we see, and a dive up on the high ground wall. And movements. Templar Assassin right now, starting to fall behind, hasn't really had the opportunity to go and farm the small camp, which we quite often see from these Templar Assassins in the mid lane. Very much having to play the straight 1v1 lane matchup. And it's also blocked up by a sentry camp. Thank you, Observer. That's another good reason why he's not been able to do it.
Oh, very smart. Something that you don't expect, but we talked about pretty much the same thing, actually. Is that ward in? It's in. So EG and Team Spirit both blocked the small camp. It's being pinged out. Not getting more farm than what you get from the lane.
Yeah, super important against of those mid laners. And you're going to have to run it back. I don't know if he's brought some more regen out to him. It was very awkward for that Tiny to stick around with. No real map pool there to play around with as Abed deals the water rune, but Mirror Tiny rotating in with a toss. Does get the mango for the avalanche, and Abed taking a damage from the right clip.
You need to be careful. Another pull could make a kill.
Dive forward, you're right, and flies on top of it. Body blocks up the Tiny. Mirror right back with a protect, hexed, and slate. First blood for Abed.
Not just that, he's also going to be picking up the enemy bounty rune. He beats back to the mid lane. And also a water rune. Can he get it? Toronto Tokyo is already there. Chris.
Still dangerous. Toronto Tokyo. The refraction charge is going to be burnt on cooldown. 8-1, 1 fairy fire. The damage coming thick and fast. The Moscow rotates in to try and save the TA, and so will Tiny with an avalanche. Looking for up with a toss, but Abed's fast enough to run it back while Toronto Tokyo not alive here.
Perfect timing.
To him. And the refraction comes back up again. Still being burnt down by Fly with a dive with the very spirits. They kill the TA in the end.
Tiny, he needs to get this kill. Archspike ready in a second. Crit, can he deny him?
Nope.
So, he cannot. At least he gets a free TP. If he denies himself there, needs to spend 100 gold. Nicely done by ET. They put Sports. Meanwhile, on the bottom lane, Arteezy, he needs a cell. Someone needs to TP there and bring him a healing cell. Ice on the top lane feels pretty secure. Just having a range, 2 points of active armor, going straight into Hood. No shenanigans. My man, he knows that can't afford to. You know, I remember back in the days when players were so greedy. What if I get mana boots? And not even a casual call can try to get the Bloodstone first item.
Straight up. There's a stun. Chain Disables, a spot rotating into that mid lane again, and they are snowballing this Arctic Storm completely. Shutting down that Templar Assassin who was already struggling in the TS department. 17 and 4 on her. While Storm Spirit now 31 and 8. So pretty much doubling up on the CS.
EG just playing around Abed. First 6 minutes, bottle refills, securing the runes. He is level 6 now, and they can start putting some pressure on the tower. It's not going to be a lot of damage, but it's going to be some chip damage.
Because you mentioned that Arteezy would want a Sal bottom, right? PL is now pulling waves. He's alone, left completely isolated and deserted bottom lane. No one came down there because both TP'd mid. Crit brought a salve and bottle refilled Abed to keep that pressure and tempo up in the middle lane and forcing Team Spirit to come in mid.
Keeping the catapult alive, dealing a ton of damage. Not what I expected. The zip available, goes across. Level 1 glimpse, not enough. It's not gonna waste more time. And this puts off some pressure off PL. As you mentioned, Tim goes for Timbersaw. They're getting the levels while keeping them busy on the mid lane. Once he gets level 6, he can easily just go to jungle. Collapse has that arena of blood available, but they're easy. Juking in the trees.
And just a couple of guys away. And Mira, so far this position for Tiny, like you were mentioning, has had a pretty slow start, and that may be a bad omen of things to come for Team Spirit in this match. Because Timbersaw has been left alone, Gyro has ditched top lane and gone back to farm some stacks in the jungle. That leaves Ice 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 to pick up some of these big tanky items, and I don't know, it feels so bad for Team Spirit to leave that Timbersaw alone up there, because he's able to go and shove that tier 1 tower, open up the map for his team, and start being that tanky nuisance.
I'm not sure how they kill Ice Ice Ice. Next, they need to bring numbers. Static Storm, Gyrocopter to drop the multiple rocket barrages and a cooldown to be able to kill him. Because right now, with that early hood, 7 minutes, has 7 stick charges, a bracer. I don't think he dies. Like, he should feel pretty safe for the next 10 minutes, pretty much.
It's like an impossibility. EG have also scouted out a stack being built up in that top jungle. Fly, glimpse back into the Gyrocopter's damage, can't dive away. Couldn't even catch the stick charges. Chain stunned perfectly. They will defend their stacks, going to de-ward them. Miposhka making sure the vision from EG doesn't stay around in that aggressive portion of their own jungle. A crit onto Tiny. Guarding game in a rune. It does spawn bottom though. A regen there for the TA. For the top back into the gyro again. Getting Yatoro involved. Storm Spirit's there with the Vortex. Tiny gets down. But Albert running pretty low. Limited on the mana. Oh no, he's
what
fine.
is it? Pop the away and gets on top of it. Bottle refill. Did it happen? It did. The EG Fly manages to get it. Keep refilling it. This is something that they've done in the Singapore major. Play around Abed whenever he's slaying the Storm Spirit, and here it comes. One more bottle refill. He never needs to go back, and I like his itemization, what he's doing. I've seen a lot of Kaya Stan, Storm Spirit. He's not messing around. Going straight into Orchid. His next item probably going to be just a BKB to be able to have that sustain. They have no abilities whatsoever that go through magic immunity.
That safety as well. All of that team fight from Team Spirit. It will be here soon, you know. Gyrocopter closing it on 6. We've got the arena like you mentioned. Static Storm will be up in the next minute or two. But EG getting themselves out on the map once again. Abed stealing some stacks. 2 supports connecting with the Timbersaw top. While you mentioned the Phantom Lancer now, you know, level 6, so perfectly fine for him to go and jungle himself through towards that top lane. Completely different story to game 1, where Team Spirit were the one very heavily reacting and very snappily getting into position to fight. It's been EG dictating exactly what the moves have been.
It's a bit of a different game because previous game, Storm jumped on this position for Tiny, who is level 4. Doesn't contribute that much, uses Avalanche, still manages to die.
And a dominating streak for Abed, 4,600 net worth on him. TA starting to catch up little by little, farming through the Ancients, clearing through whatever little stacks have been left to her as well.
Every single time you kill Templar Assassin, it feels like he kind of killed Meepo of a hero that splash farms.
It's not just the money you get from the kill. It's that 20-30 seconds where she's not farming, and you think about the GPM she's getting, like that's 400, 500 gold, maybe more with the stacks she's able to take down. You are crippling the Templar Assassin very quickly.
And this is, the tier 1 tower has fallen. You see Tiny top lane, tier 2 tower wants to get some farm, will soak up some of the easy farm, safe one. Not even gonna get the last hit, it's very hard.
And they jump on Yatoro. And it says Ice's job now to come and play in the mid lane. Just very systematic from EG. From top lane and towards mid. Playing up these actives and try and use some of the ulti abilities here. Supernova, Finger of Death. They spawn out a TP from Mira. Tiny, straight up jump from Armored Storm. The last shot, the Static Storm, Spirit in Arena. Well done, on to Arbet. Ice still pushing forward though. The Hex and the catch on the collapse. Not going to be enough to finish him off. And Fly takes down Mira's top. You want to face lift. And the Finger of Death. The Supernova lands. I'm sure you killed the Storm Spirit, but the cost was dead.
Middle tower is drowned.
Egg popped off. Pretty much he was the only one trying to hit it. And then Finger comes, first Finger damage. 4 crit on top of it, they will get the tower. Ice is just not killable at at the moment, and if he decides to get a Vanguard, I don't know how they kill him. Like, maybe it's a bit of an overkill. He wants to upgrade. Oh, collapse.
Well, Fly trying a bit of a de-warding mission there, unsuccessful in his attempt.
Glimpse ready, but it's only level 2, so out of reach, and it's also a Timber Saw, so no point to waste mana. Meanwhile, all this was happening. He gets the free gold from the tower, keeps farming the jungle, getting very close to his Diffusal Blade, just needs 400 gold. I wouldn't mind seeing Hood also on him, because there's a bunch of magical damage, second item Hood on PL feels very strong.
Yeah, tank yourself up, allow your Phantom Lancer to actually get involved in these fights. We are still holding on with Team Spirit. Gyrocopter, he's not looking too bad in the old net worth, but there it is. That catch on Storm, so vitally important they get that kill, but you lose out, what, 3 heroes in the exchange. Good Supernova, Steel Tower's dead, and that Finger of Death right at the end onto Yato. Picking up the Gyro and the trade. Good little fight from EG there, and all dictated by the catapult timings. Much smoother from them. And it's down to Spirit now.
Team Spirit does not have a good hero against the Timber Saw. They don't have a Spirit Vessel carrier. They don't have a percentage-based damage. So he's gonna feel pretty safe. Like, this might be the game where Eyesight Eyes just ends up with 0 or 1 death at the end, no matter who wins.
Oh, hell.
That's easy. He's being pinged out. Has no idea this is coming, but he gets the doppelganger. No! The real one's Storm. Spear back and dead. Unfortunate situation for the Phantom Lancer where he spawns inside the field.
Doesn't matter if it's the high ground, if it's a cliff, he will always find a way to get stuck, Gary.
That's easy way.
Dire's top tower
Good move though
is
from
under attack.
Spirit. You know, using these circles we've been talking about, getting on the board, finding core kills, and collapse. Leading that charge. He is the carrot right now, their team. Top of the net worth. And he has all of the abilities they need to pick off these more elusive targets in the Storm and the PL. Never feels like there's a rush for EG though. It's always Team Spirit scrambling to look for fights, trying to build up their item, catching up in this kind of game.
I saw a play from Nico when Execration was playing, when he used Branch to get up. Static
field,
the static field, kinetic field. Could have possibly been done the same thing with the Ironwood tree there.
Ooh, could have been an idea, yeah.
I'm not 100% sure, but I believe it does. We analysts, casters, you know what we say. I'm gonna reveal a secret. If you're not certain about something, you say, last time I checked it, it was working, or to be even more professional, like last time I tested it, to look like you're doing some extra work, and then you say, yeah, it worked.
I was in demo hero mode last night.
I spent whole night, didn't even sleep, was just testing stuff.
Yeah, I mean, this is how it's worked with like Sprout and Cogs, right? You know, people trapped inside. If something takes their place, they have to get pushed out somewhere. Tiny can get pushed into the grave by the Storm Spirit, and that Phoenix yet again controlling that middle lane, and that's dire triangle.
That's the Orchid reveal for the Storm Spirit, so he can pick up on the side lanes if someone wants to push. Panel talked about what the itemization for Mars in this game should be. Could have defined the Yule Scepter so you can survive through the initial burst and also have that setup for the Storm Spirit. You have also a way of removing Fiery Spirits, removing that silence as well on top of it.
And Ice. You kept saying he's going to be unkillable and he might have 0, 1 deaths.
No, I don't think he dies. I don't think he will die at all. Now that seeing that Vanguard is up and that he's going for the Guardian Greaves.
Yeah, I saw that pick. I was like, okay, he's actually gone for it. Might be overkill, like you mentioned, but he can just do what he's doing now. He has sat mid for about 3 minutes, just pushing wave, making sure that there is no pressure at all on his own tier 1, and that leaves a complete wide open map for RTZ with 150 TS. 16 minutes in, Diffusal Blade with a hood. EG should be feeling quite strong and ready to fight. But they need to force anything. They can just keep scaling, keep farming. You know Team Spirit eventually will want to come to you.
Whenever you have PL in the team, in the matchup, the carry-to-carry matchup is good. You don't feel rushed. You don't necessarily need to go in and seek out the fight. Seems like it should be a tier 2 for tier 2. Both teams playing with a lot of damage coming onto these towers. Team Spirit actually backing off. They only see Phantom Lancer at the top, so they are a bit worried.
That's a good point. I think Lizard mentioned it as well. Gyrocopter against Phantom Lancer. And we've always thought historically that, oh, he's got AoE damage, he can clear illusions. But it's that double-edged sword, right? If the Phantom Lancer gets on top of the Gyrocopter, he doesn't really deal with the illusions that well.
Yeah, it's really not that great, especially once Phantom Lancer gets that tanky item, which most likely is to be hard eventually, and the damage output from Gyrocopter is really not noticeable.
Yeah, you can the illusions down to like half HP and then they're all done for. And look at this. Tim sort of TPs into the middle of 5 heroes basically.
Thanks to Glimpse.
Glimpse back all the way to top lane again, so tier 1 should finally be claimed by Team Spirit and Heroes. Evil Geniuses are putting themselves in a position to contest this.
Dyer's
Are they on division? The Team Spirit knows this is coming. They spot the Timber Saw and they full on leg it away from that tier 1 mid.
Tower is under attack.
Timbersaw is, I'm back, baby. I'm back on the mid lane. You glimpse me. I'm ready to go in one more time.
You thought you got rid of me? So you know who I am?
Some damage dealt to tier 4 tower. 330. Not too bad. First Roshan still alive. Spear.
Phoenix. That's a target they can go for.
Not sure if they needed a bit of an overkill there with the Static Storm.
And Abed farming away. Gets himself up to that Kaya now. Tier 1 mid still standing and Team Spirit struggling. Get a firm grasp in this game. 3k lead starting to build up for Evil Geniuses. And again, is that situation where they really do just want to extend this game out. There's no panic, no rush.
Exercise, just building up stacks inside the Roche pit. Haste available, Storm Spirit will pick it up.
And then he's back into mid lane.
They tried. He tried to make something happen. It feels like EG wanted to do Roche, but realized maybe we don't have that much damage once Phantom Lancer joins. We have, but he was playing the top lane. So, a couple of seconds wasted, nothing too serious. There was this window where Arena was down 60 seconds, then goes to Static Storm. Static Storm will be up in 30.
And we'll chip away at Roshan. Very fearful play from Team Spirit though. They're scanning the bottom tier 2, pushing out with a Tiny. 2 heroes holding ramp in that bottom jungle. Gyro farming behind and TA the Ancients. So that Roshan completely uncontested. And Storm Spirit, one of the best Aegis carriers in the game, going to have absolutely free reign in that next team fight. And now, execution-wise for Team Spirit here, it has to be so spot on. This next team fight could just be the game-ending move.
Abed can't afford to go for more greedy items, especially now that he picked up the Aegis. It's not so much about the Aegis, it's about the neutral item. Found the Nether Shoal, something that Phantom Lancer works to hold. But he went for a hood anyway, so they give it to the Storm Spirit, and now he can go into the Bloodstone, especially with Aegis being picked up.
And go straight into those late game items.
No need to get a BKB.
No.
Radiant's bottom tower faces a
Timber Saw as well.
win.
So he's got that status resistance. All that tankiness which we've already seen from him. His presence on the map has been insurmountable. Sticking in that mid lane and making sure Team Spirit have to make silly little moves like this. Backstabbing the tier 1 tower with a Tiny. One more hit from Mira. But a Blink Dagger, so Tiny probably quite pleased with himself in that, as long as they don't lose anymore. There's the Arena Spear catching out Crit. A 1-for-1 trade and the tier 1 grabbed by Team Spirit. Collapse with the TP home though, now Disruptor. Do you get the escape out of here? I don't believe so. Phantom Lancer's on your tail. A 2-for-1, the tier 1 grabbed up by Spirit, but this is still EG gunning it straight down towards that dire base.
Phantom Lancer is getting huge. Good done, as we mentioned, now going into SNY on top of the Imp Claw, so he deals a ton of damage. Isis one more time. Not killable, they're completely ignoring him.
He's just a monument to tankiness right now.
It's the thing about the supports. Position 5 doesn't really do too much against the Timber. Neither does your position 4. Offlaner, he can't afford to get a Spirit Vessel. Position 4, it's pretty much always the same item. You need that Blink Dagger to get on top of people. position 5 will not get enough farm, and like even if you decide to get a Spirit Vessel, he will have a way of dispelling it because it comes down very late.
They've got to catch him with the stacks down, with like Melt Strike, everybody there.
I don't think it's enough, Gary. I actually don't think it's enough.
For even a chance then.
Yeah, right now he has Kaya Sanj, he has a Vanguard, Armor, Hood of Defiance on top of it, holding a Bracer, which gives him even more magic resistance.
Oh, he's toying with him now. He's just standing in front of their tier 2, holding the creep wave, keeping the push going while the rest of his squad, they're down bottom, they're farming triangle.
Hodl, wait. They can't touch him. He has 3,000 HP, effective HP is probably around 6,000, to be more honest.
Yeah, probably. And the fact that stuns just water up a duck's back.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
And a great spot here for EG to be in. Ancient stack built up for Arteezy. 2 tier 2 towers ready to be grabbed up by them in the mid of the bottom lane. And his first aim
bring down
has
Radiant's top tower.
allowed him to take some pretty supreme map control, but it has to be said, Team Spirit, they've kept that net worth lead at around 3k. They are still farming very nicely. You know, TA is up there, close to where the Phantom Lancer is. Gyro hasn't slipped away. So they are starting to hit some of these important item timings themselves. But BKB on TA is going to be big for them.
TA has been slowed down. This is not type of a game that TA wants to play. She wants to beat the map, putting some pressure, possibly invading enemy triangle, getting some kills. Also stealing Roshan from a TA lineup, always gonna feel good. I'm just watching it ice. I'm not even moving my mouse, Gary. Checking what he's doing. If they want,
Is that your therapy?
This is my therapy, exactly. I just chilling.
Nice mug of tea with a bit of honey in it, watching Ice Timbersaw.
I want to see if they decide to make a move on him. Like, he dies if they drain 5 heroes.
Well, they can move top instead. Start the gyro, glimpse away. Arbet sent off to the other side of the map. And Crypt into a sacrifice from EG. While Mira getting caught up here by ISSI. Some good traps to slow him down with Phantom Lancer. There with the Lancer, the Sunray coming. Mira attempts the TP, but sliced and diced by ISSI. Storm Spirit, the Yule into spear setup. Arbed caught with a couple of chain stuns with the Hung Missile coming through, but Yatoro needs the help of the glimpse.
Good glimpse back. A bit of a lag. We'll disconnect and reconnect quickly.
I'm dead. He'll be back just fine. Is that his Bloodstone finish now, Lacoste?
Yeah, it's Bloodstone flying to him. Phantom Lancer doesn't have anything queued up. It should be another tanky item.
Skadi, maybe?
Skadi feels good. You're playing against the 2 range heroes. The slow is insanely good. And either that or a heart. I would kind of prefer Skadi because you're playing into 2 ranged cores. If it was a melee, maybe a Skadi would have been a better choice, but we'll see what he decides to go for. Bet ready to go.
So is Yatoro. There we see reactive armor stacks with Timbersaw, the most tanky talent choices from the Phantom Lancer. And with that Skadi or the heart, whatever it might be that you mentioned, only going to increase his tankiness.
Timbersaw's still deciding, what do I want to buy? Wants that Guardian Greaves, but does not want to spend gold, so he's changing his item build quite a lot. Disassemble Kaya and Sanj, get the Bloodstone, have a Sanj, possibly upgrade to Heaven's Halberd against the Gyro, against the TA. That'd be great.
Oh, he can disassemble his Vanguard as well, can't he, for that
Yes.
Vitality booster. That's so good. We'll see what he turns everything else into. He'll have like a Ring of Health and stuff like that.
This is something that pro players have been doing much more lately. Just getting more efficiency from the items by disassembling.
Just wrap around. Team Spirit.
And there we go. And you
doing it. Jules into Spear coming. Sandstorm onto Arteezy with the field. The circles all overlapping towards the Phantom Lancer. Arteezy, he's going to doppelganger. He's still alive. And they turn on Vinporchka. Disruptor. And the Sunray heal allows the Arteezy PL to cruise through to this victorious fight for EG. Mira zapped on, zipped towards Arbed. Will find the Tiny on the backside. And Toronto, Tokyo. It's BKB to TP. They're on the run. They are moving back to their fountain. That was their aggressive move, and it just flounders, falls flat on its face.
Once EG gets a kill or 2, and if egg is still available, they pop that egg, fight's completely over. They don't have enough attack speed to kill it. Templar Assassin is not gonna stand there, especially if BKB is down. Gyrocopter also forced to use an earlier BKB in the fight. Now we have a Bloodstone on the Storm Spirit complete. We have Phantom Lancer going for the Scotty that we talked about, and you have a Bloodstone on Timbersaw, also keeping this casual ring, so he disassembled Kaya and Sanj. It was enough, you know, he got something out of the item, he got 0 deaths from it, and Bloodstone done, Heaven's Halberd done.
Dagon next, yeah? No.
Has Shiva's Guard.
No, Shivas, please. Life you know you want to buy Dagon 5. And Abed there, heading into Shiva's Guard as well, apparently. So we'll see if we have a bit of a switch up between the Timber and the Storm Spirit, both considering the same sort of itemization.
They like to toy with their items. That's the one thing that I noticed. I wouldn't mind seeing either a BKB or Aghanim Scepter. This is one of the best ways you can protect the egg with and just keep them in place. So both Timbersaw, it's a setup for a big Earth Spike for Lion, or Phantom Lancer to just deal damage with the illusions. Arteezy, we can see that he is burstable if it's executed properly, but there's a Sunray on top of him, plus a hood, a lot of damage that he can soak up. It's not, if he's caught alone, he's gonna die. You know, sometimes my analysis is really on point. If they lock him down for 5 seconds, he's dead. Very nice, Lacoste. Thank you very much. But if there's a team backing him up with the Sunray, with the like Timbersaw going in, possibly using Heaven's Halberd pre-BKB, this is something they need to be very careful about.
So much more difficult for Team Spirit. Because we were saying even 10, 15 minutes in, the execution from this Dire squad has to be really perfect. So far, you know, the spell casting has been on point. It's just not been quite there in terms of where they are taking the fights. The positioning of EG has been one step ahead this time around. And Storm Spirit thinking about to go on Tiny. Here's the Yule Spear. Abed getting caught out with the chain stones. Earth Spike onto Tiny. Abed with a bit of mana left. Gets over the arena, but the glimpse back into the field. Catching out the Storm.
Big kill. 400 gold for Mira. Not the hero that you want to give it to, but it is what it is. Roshan will respawn in a minute and 20 seconds. Tier 3 items starting to drop. Quickening Charm for Team Spirit.
And Roshan a minute away. So Storm Spirit will be alive.
Radiant are scanning for enemies.
And Radiant even scanning in the pit just to try and make sure there's no funny business happening over to that side of the map, and they're even smoking out here.
Arteezy would love to farm his Scotty, just needs 100 gold. There's already Courier in the secret shop, which is not secret anymore. We definitely need to change the name of that shop.
What do you want to call it?
Everyone knows about it shop.
A very well-known shop. Smoke into smoke. Everybody dance around the Roche pit. Toronto, Tokyo, getting some traps down as Isosize.
Isosize playing the previous patch where you could scout things out in the Roche pit with Courier.
Doesn't work now. Flaps and Miposhka thinking about making a move, but yeah, yet again, it's a Timbersaw, boys. You can try, you can have a crack, but I don't think you're going to be able to take that man down.
Radiant's Courier.
They want someone else. That Courier will work. Plate mail gone. Isosize loses his Courier this time, and Roshan respawning in 1 second.
Are you guys gonna play
It's
the
the
game?
only thing they can kill for Isosize. The hero cannot die. Courier is pretty much the only thing.
Susceptible to death.
Dire's middle tower.
Well, Roshan is alive, but the trouble is here with this really interesting map setup is that Team Spirit are in Radiant Triangle. They're defending Roshan.
While Fly is scouting things out with Fire Spirits inside the Roche pit just to make sure that they're not doing it.
And EG are in your base. Tier 3 is taking a lot of damage. Roshan now being attempted by Team Spirit, it looks like. They're in the pit with a Meld Strike in minus armor. Roshan not dropping quickly enough though, and this is going to allow Isosize to move himself forward.
He has no
through the
stats.
pit. You're right, he doesn't, but they're still going to get in here on top of him. Crit with a Blink Axe, finding the target with the Earth Spike. Single death coming, they're going to capable by the time of the Tiny. Mira might get a combo off. Isosize, he's still at half HP. He can't touch this map. He's too strong. Pops his Bloodstone and breaks the vision up on high ground, making sure that Team Spirit can't execute properly, can't put down. And Yatoro, he can't contend with the egg.
They need to get out.
They've got a TP home towards the Tokyo's done for. Abed's onto the bombs now. And Team Spirit, they're all dead.
Even without any stacks, Isosize goes in, soak up pretty much all the damage. He was worried for a second, you know, maybe I could die, pops a Bloodstone, Sunray on him. This is the second Roche Cheese Age Aegis plus shard. Let's see who gets the shard. Probably gonna give it to Phantom Lancer because his shard feels really good, and that's exactly what they took with Poshka. We'll go for the courier. Not gonna get it in the end.
Not gonna play the game.
Not much damage. Glimmer Cape TP out, and right now EG in of this game.
Yeah, they're strapped in. Seatbelt secured for them this time. 10,000 net worth lead. Like you say, with all that, the goodie bag from the Roshan pit. Making the situation with Team Spirit look incredibly difficult to handle. ISSI stacks himself up a nice little triple wave there. Arteezy's on your tier 3 with a catapult top.
Dyer's top
They will
tower is gone.
open up this base. ISSI, he's under tier 4s. He's been a cheeky devil, I think. Hey, look at me. I'm a Timbersaw. I can do this. I can do that. You can't do anything to me.
Gotta get them all. All those stacks, 30 reactive armor, back into tier 4s.
Go on then.
Nope. Now back into tier 4s.
Static Storm, Melt Strike. Timbersaw, half HP. Doesn't give a bloody damn about that damage and control. He just can't be touched. Alright, right, glimpse me. Pull down cut. Another split back. Timbersaw dying. Timber's dying. Oh, they got him! ISSI finally falls now. Arteezy will lose the Aegis. Team Spirit, they hold on. First here, home around that tier 4 tank. Sealed up again. A nice arena spear. This is Team Spirit fighting back, defending their high ground as Fly. The huge Deso in there. Nearly close to the Phoenix, but Miro the cross. It's supernova for the Toronto. Here comes Ahmed. This one's down. Zapping down onto the TA, and they will get Toronto, Tokyo. Now they're back in full force with ISSI's second life.
I think they will try to take one more fight possibly if EG doesn't go and try to end the game on tier 4 towers. Like ISSI was going to go, and he went in, tanked a lot of the damage, and nice execution from Team Spirit. First the spear into toss back into the static storm. 50 seconds.
Your spear maybe. Kinetic field net. They can't touch Ahmed now.
No buybacks on both cores, so they can clear enough the tier 4 towers.
Spear back to Fountain. They don't get him in there. Ahmed running low on mana though. Tier 4s still looking reasonably healthy here. EG have taken 2 lanes of barracks, but I think
EG
have time.
Respecting these abilities that can move you out of your position. The only one that they lack is Magnus. You have Tiny, you have a Spear, you have a Glimpse as well, so need to be very careful how you're going to approach. The 4 towers still alive.
Just 1 lane to go into now though. Team Spirit having to deal with the super creeps coming in from 2 different sides. So potentially a little bit more breathing room for Team Spirit. The fights, when they get them under tier 4s, look pretty decent. Glyphing up towers, getting all that build damage out, all their circles landing. There are just so many targets that EG have out on the map that Team Spirit can't really contend with. I guess you can start thinking, the buyback of Ice, if he does die again, could signal some worries here for Evil Geniuses.
I wouldn't be too worried. Phantom Lancer going into Heart, taking up the illusions even more. Storm Spirit has Aghanim Scepter done, top of Ceremonial Robe. You wouldn't want to get this item when you're playing Storm Spirit. You get the level 20 talent, you get that Ceremonial Robe, status resistance, and magic resistance down by 10%.
So do you think ISIS is going to be telling Arteezy, hey, you've got buyback, go save that money for it. Go and do what I just did. Stand at a tier 4s.
Are you guys gonna play the game?
I'm dead.
They might do it, yeah. ISIS, will respect the damage coming out from it, will not do the same thing again. 2 set of barracks down, now knocking on the last one.
And Arteezy just frontlining. So tanky, 4,000 health. And a low sword to back him up. As ISIS does finish off that nice buff-up item.
ISIS, yes. Look at a professional esports player. Not diving tier 4 towers.
He's pressing his buttons, boys. He's cutting away. Making sure this is all too easy for Arteezy. Tossing illusions around, Miro there trying to chip away at the Phantom Lancer. But again, Sunray with Heart. Collapse will mix out the spear with a great doppelganger dodge. Yasuro's burst. All his mana down to 340. That one in from Ahmed. Slicing through the gyro disruptor. Double buyback comes from Team Spirit now. But the focus on Collapse blows him up with a big repair, and it's a 4 versus 5. But runs them all over. The bulldozers arrive as either side sprints towards the fountain and forces the GG.
Much better execution from EG after pulling out the good game 22 minutes in game number 1. They managed to keep the composure, like just be able to adapt to how team spirit is